Hi guys. What is up? It's been probably a week since I sat down and filmed. I hope everyone's weeks have been good. It is May, which makes it officially spring, and I'm so excited about it. Life has been kind of busy. I settled into my new job. It's going really well. I love it there. I have amazing people that I'm working with, and it's just a really great environment, and it's really awesome, and I'm really loving it there and doing well. I wanted to share some exciting news with you guys. So, I am officially an ambassador for the She Who Is clothing company, which is a Christian-based clothing company. The owner, Shelby, is a really wonderful person, and she really puts thought into all the things that she creates for young women. And it's all about just like women supporting women and Daughters of Grace kind of coming together and just, really lifting each other up through God, worshiping together. And it's just a really, really cool company. I wanted to share probably one of my favorite things I've ever worn. And I'm not just saying that because I'm affiliated with the brand. I'm saying it because it has a very special meaning to me. The necklace I am currently wearing right now, it says near on it. It's very pretty, very dainty. It's just a constant reminder that God is always near. And through everything and anything you go through during your day, He is always with you and He has got your back. It brings me a lot of peace when I get caught up in the movement of the day, knowing that I have this to kind of remind me that I'm not alone. So yeah, I do have a link that you can follow right here, and there's also a discount that I can also put down below if you are interested in checking that out. Now, moving into the video, I'm going to be talking about my mental health today, which is always a fun subject. It's a little spicy. I took a poll on my Instagram for the next video idea. Obviously, you are watching the one that won, but then next week's video is going to be kind of about how I study the Bible. So make sure you are subscribed and have your notifications turned on to keep a lookout for that. Okay, so my mental health journey. It's been a wild ride, I will say. If you followed me before or watched my other videos, you would know that I am a person who struggles with a lot of health problems. So I have a lot of physical health problems, and I also struggle with anxiety and depression, which can be really, really overwhelming at times. Lately, I've been doing a lot better, and I think a lot of that has to do with my relationship with God. There was times where I was so completely overwhelmed and just overtaken by depression and anxiety that I physically couldn't get out of bed. And it wasn't just like one of those I don't feel like doing anything today, so I'm just gonna not get out of bed. It was like, oh, I have all this stuff to do, but I have no motivation to do it. I have no interest in doing it. I can't do it. It's too hard. It's too much. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. Those kind of feelings. It was just, everything was very overwhelming. And I think my junior and senior year of high school, it really peaked for me. I have always struggled with anxiety throughout my entire life. I had it when I was little, and I have it now. It's just something that I live and cope with. But school was really difficult for me. And I think a lot of it had to do with my situation of the relationship that I was in. And I don't want to blame all my struggles on that per se. However, that definitely moved things along to the point where it was all I thought about, and it was all consuming, and I didn't know anything outside of that relationship. It got to the point where I was considering giving up everything, giving up my dreams, my passions, everything, for this one person and this one relationship, because in my mind, it was the only thing that mattered. The only thing I needed to be happy, which obviously is not true. A lot of that was manipulation, and that's something that I think is really hard to recognize when you're in the middle of it. I know people definitely told me, hey, this guy is really bad for you. You are not being treated well. You are being abused. This is not okay. I didn't want to hear it. I just kind of pretend that everything was fine. I acted like everything was fine, and then I got so exhausted from pretending all the time that I was okay that on the days where I felt even the slightest bit of stress, it would ruin my whole week. And I would just be in this pit of depression for a week. And I'm not saying that like that is the only reason I was depressed, because anxiety and depression, for me, they go hand in hand, and they come in waves. So I'll have a period of time where I'm doing like really, really, really well. Everything seems easy and I'm thriving in life and I'm just happy and I'm in a good mood. And then it'll kind of go downhill a little bit and I'll start to kind of fall back into those bad old habits. But lately, I've been doing really well. I have gone to therapy my whole life, in and out of therapy. Therapy is nothing to be ashamed of at all. I think if you have the strength to go into therapy and talk about your problems and like really own up to and face your problems, then you are so much stronger than you can even begin to understand. And I think probably one of the hardest things for me was accepting relationships are a two-way street and not everything was this person's fault. I was so consumed with my issues that I didn't see where I was causing problem. Not saying that abuse is the victim's fault, because it absolutely is not, but when our relationship was good in the beginning, we had some problems, and some of those problems were because of me, and a lot of those problems were because of him, but some of them were because of me. My boundaries were pushed to the point where I didn't have any. When I would try to set boundaries, they would tell me that that's ridiculous, like there's no reason to be upset. You don't need to set this boundary because like this isn't a thing to be uncomfortable about. I guess my point is I dealt with a lot of manipulation and I have a hard time now because of that. Anyway, I digress. This past year has been huge in my relationship with God. I've grown a lot as a Christian and I've grown a lot in myself. I'm not afraid to talk about my faith anymore. I stand up for my faith. And I think the biggest thing for me is I'm not afraid to pray. I think as a Christian, especially kind of when you're being introduced to God and faith, praying can seem really awkward. When you're praying, it's just you and God having a conversation, you telling God about what's going on in your life and just looking for some hope and affirmation, you know? And I think there's this pressure to say the right thing and sound a certain way. Prayer isn't a cookie cutter. My version of prayer, I literally talk to myself. Like I sit there and I'm just like, God, that wasn't very cool. Can I have help with this? Or, hey, thanks for doing that in my life. Like that was really cool. I don't have this whole like kneel by the bed, get on your knees, spew this like beautiful poetry. It's okay if you pray that way, like that's awesome, but I don't. I literally just speak what comes to my mind and I tell God about my day and about my feelings. As someone who deals with a lot of anxiety, I think a big focus for me is hope and perseverance and peace. The biggest thing that I kind of want to relate today is that Jesus is peace. He knows all of the pain that we felt, all of the pain we're going to feel, because he felt it as well. In Psalm 22, that whole chapter is Jesus crying out to God. His last words on the cross were, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Jesus has felt abandonment from God, and he was his son. Jesus was created by God, for God, with God. He is God, and yet he still felt abandoned by God. When we fall into these pits of depression where we feel so alone, we need to really try and remember, for those of you who are Christian, that Jesus felt that too. And the reason he felt that is so that we would not be alone in our suffering. Jesus sacrificed everything for us so that we would know that we are never alone, and that through everything, Jesus is listening. That to me is probably one of the biggest comforts that I'll ever know, is that no matter what I'm facing, no matter what horrible things like my body's dealing with, no matter my mental state, that I am never alone, and that Jesus has felt the same anxieties and the same depressions and the same starvation for something good that I have. And if anything, that is Jesus teaching us to seek God, because even though he said, my God, why have you forsaken me?" He then goes on to say, "But I will praise you anyway. Lord, I will love you anyway. Lord, I will let you guide me anyway. I will submit to your will. I will give you all of my anxieties. I will give you all of my evils and let you take that away." Jesus was literally hanging on the cross and yet he still worshiped. That to me is the biggest thing that anyone can ever do, is when you're struggling to continue to praise and continue to say, thank you for this day, God. Thank you for this day that I am living. Thank you for tomorrow. Thank you for the situation that I'm in, because when you're in situations like that, you're going to learn from your experience. You're going to come out of it. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. You are going to gain something from your struggles. You are not just struggling to struggle. God isn't putting you through that for you to feel worse. He's doing that so that you might grow. I'm going to be very honest. As a Christian, I have to try every single day to believe that God is good. I think that is what faith is all about, because you never 100% know. The only thing that we can do is have faith and know that He is a good God and that He does not want us to suffer. I have to choose every single day to love God and to be Christian, because if I didn't believe in God, I don't really think I would be here today, and I'm not just being dramatic by saying that. I think I either wouldn't be the person that I am today, or I would not be on this earth. Do with that what you will. Whew, heavy topics. I know today's video probably wasn't what you were expecting. I hope you enjoyed the content. Make sure you're subscribed and your notifications are turned on so you can look out for my new videos coming out. I'm trying to release a video every week or every other week. I'm pretty busy, so it just depends on when you have time to kind of sit down and film and edit, and like when I feel good enough and inspired, you know, because I don't want to just like make a video to make a video. You know, I want to actually like be invested in the content that I'm making. So I appreciate all the patience from you guys, and I really appreciate the love and support. I had someone come through the shop the other day and they asked me like, when are you filming a new video? And I was like, oh my gosh, you watch my videos? And I've had people like DM me on Instagram saying like, thank you for speaking on the things you're speaking about. We really appreciate like you vocalizing about like your faith, and keep doing what you're doing, like keep it up, you know, you're doing great. And that's huge. That means so much to me. It means so much to me that you guys are actually interested and like want to hear from me. Like, to me, that is the coolest thing ever, that my videos are actually reaching people. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate it, and I love you guys so much. And I hope you continue to stay with me and grow with me, and if nothing else, learn a little bit about God in the process. That is all for today. Make sure you stay tuned for watching. I will link my Instagram down below so you can go follow me on there for updates and kind of see when I post new videos if you don't have your notifications turned on, because let's be honest, who does? I will talk to you guys next time. See you later, guys. Make sure you stay healthy, stay happy, and remember to be kind. God loves you all.